Good day everyone, this is Miss Jai, and for this lesson, for our last lesson for the fourth quarter, we are going to talk about assertions, claims, and their evidence in a text. So in this lesson, we will be answering the following questions. First, what is an assertion? How claims become controversial? I know you're already familiar with claims. And lastly, how to validate claims made using textual evidence in the text. So let's begin. So what is assertion? An assertion is an opinion or a claim, and authors makes assertion in the text they write. An assertion is like a statement used to make a declaration or to express strong belief on a particular topic, often without evidence. Now, if you're going to make an assertion, the question is, are they valid, or are they believable? Are they trustworthy? Now, an assertion can be formulated after reading a story or a poem, and even after watching a play. In fact, the purpose of writing an assertion is for the writer to convey directly an idea or feeling and to convince the reader to accept the writer's interpretation of a particular literary work. Also, before writing an assertion in literature, the author must comprehensively read or watch the literary work first. He must take down the part he is for or he is opposed to, followed by his explanation of it. It is also best to collect evidence from the same or other literary authors that have the same assertion as with the writer. Now, there are different types of assertion that can be used in formal or informal writing. This includes basic assertion, emphatic assertion, and I-language assertion. So let's use this short text in formulating different types of assertion. So this is the short text. You may pause this one if you wanted to read this. But that text, we will use that as our example for each type. Okay, the first one is basic assertion. This type of assertion is usually used in writing formal papers like thesis and dissertation. It is a statement used to express the writer's feelings, beliefs, and opinions directly. Okay? So let's have an example. The Philippines has an advanced civilization before the colonization of Spain. Form and branches of government, social structure, and the existence of ancient writing are some of the evidence that proves the advancement of the pre-colonial period. Now, this first sentence is considered as the basic assertion. Why? Because as what you can see, it is directly expressing the writer's feelings, beliefs, and opinions. Now, the second sentence contains the evidence that support the assertion that we found on the first sentence. Okay? So, basically, if you're going to use basic assertion, it's direct. It's already there, supported with evidence. Always remember that every assertion there is a corresponding evidence. Okay? The next one is what we call emphatic assertion. It is a statement used to express empathy or on how a person understands the feelings and emotions of the literary author. It is usually composed of two parts. We have the first part is the statement that recognizes the situation or even the feelings of the characters on the text being read. And then the second statement where the writer states his stand about the situation. First part recognizes the situation or the feelings, and then the second statement is the stand about the situation. Okay, let's take a look at the example. I know that the Philippines before pre-Spaniard colonization has their system of writing called the baybayin. This alone proves that the Filipinos are literate as opposed to the Spaniards' claim. Now this is an example of emphatic assertion, because the first part recognizes the situation based on the text being read, and then the second part now contains the writer's stand on the situation presented. And then the last one is what we call I language assertion. It is called I language because it focuses on the writer and is using the pronoun I. It is a statement used to express the feeling and the preference of the writer himself or herself. This type of assertion is recommended if the author wants to express negative feelings and opinion. This is best used in writing a review or reflection paper. It is usually composed of three parts. The first part contains the accurate information from literary work, especially the topic the writer disagreed with. And the second part includes the effect or feeling of the writer towards the topic. And the last part includes the preference or recommendation of the writer. Let's have an example. Upon reading that the ancient Filipino civilization is divided into three social classes, namely the Maharlika, Timawa, and Alipin, I feel proud because of the civilization's social advancement, and at the same time sad because of the promulgation of social differentiation. With this finding, I want to do further research on the existence of the social classes stigma. Now, the example given is actually divided into three parts. That includes the feelings and the preference of the writer. And also notice the use of these keywords, I feel. And with this finding, I want to do further research. Okay? So that is for I language. It is mostly using the pronoun I. Now, there are two factors that must be considered before formulating assertion. The first one is to determine the type of paper you are going to write, and can either be formal or informal paper, and determine the type of literary work you are going to examine, including poem, journal, article, or theater play. Aside from that, it is best to include facts and evidence after every assertion. This is done to make a strong stand on every claimed assertion. Now, how claims become controversial? In the previous lesson, now that you know about assertion, and from the previous lesson, you've also learned about claims, both an assertion and a claim need to be substantiated with proof. Otherwise, they will be rendered invalid. But assertion, though, contain more intensity and forcefulness on the part of the speaker because you are persuading someone. So that's for assertion. But you learned in lesson 2 that a writer always makes claims in text. And you have likewise practiced locating these claims in text, right? In this part of the lesson, you will need that skill once more, but this time, you will train your eyes to look for controversial claims made in the text. When people make claims, they are expressing their opinions. That's for claims. Ideas that represent a group of person or a group perspective that must still be proven in order to be considered factual. However, if they go unchecked or verified, it can damage someone's reputation, make others believe in false information, and lessen your credibility. So that's controversial claim. Now, a controversy is a situation in which people expresses disagreement, dissent, disgust, or even rage. Controversies arise when claims offend other beliefs, sensitivities, or when they are made without necessary proof or evidence. In terms of reading, controversies arise from the way people react to the ideas of the writers. Normally, claims become controversial when they go against popular beliefs, attack or criticize others, introduce something that is not accepted in culture, and do not include proof or evidence of their claims. Now, how to validate claims made using textual evidence in the text. Before we believe in something like a claim made in the text, we must validate it using textual evidence. Textual evidence refers to proof or evidence cited within the text. Remember, they must be near the claim and must be logically related to the claim. They must also be from credible sources and must be based on facts. If all these things are present, then your claim has been validated by using textual evidence. Okay? Easy, right? Now, also, to end this lesson, let us have a sort of like a recap or a review, and let's not forget about these lessons. First is a credible text is supported by proof or evidence. A text has both good and bad points. Always remember that. And assertions or claims must be backed up by evidence all the time. Okay? And controversies arise when claims offend others' belief or sensitivities, or when they are made without necessary proof or evidence. And lastly, textual evidence helps bolster or support a writer's claims. Okay? So I guess that's all for our lesson. I hope you learned something from it today. This is your teacher, Teacher Joy. Thank you and see you again.